Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in. So Rosie and I would like to invite you to join us today for part one of a back care sequence, part one of two. So in this back care sequence, we are going to focus on stretching. So when we think about back health, there's kind of two components to that. There's stretching out the spine, the muscles that connect to the spine. This is stuff that feels really good at the end of the day when your back hurts, or I was mopping earlier and hunching over the mop and just needed to kind of stretch and lengthen out. So that's what this part one of our back health sequence is about, is just stretching and feeling really good. Part two and another video will be about strengthening. Okay, so that's a little different. That's when we talk about working on, there's three components really that affect our back health and can really exacerbate back pain. Those three things are tight hamstrings, a weak core, and weak glutes. So in our next series on back health, we will focus specifically on those three things and strengthening those areas, releasing the hamstrings, strengthening the core, strengthening the glutes, and that's going to be really supportive for your back muscles and hopefully can alleviate some back pain. But today we're all about back relaxation and back stretching. So we're going to use a chair. Have a chair nearby, and we're going to use, I have a yoga strap, but if you don't have something like that, grab a belt or a rope, anything that can, serve as a strap-like object for you. Cats and dogs certainly welcome and optional. Good therapy, of course, right? So let's begin. I'm sorry to move Miss Rosie. Let's begin on our backs. And we're going to put our legs right up on this chair, 90 degrees. So we want our knees kind of up against the edge of the chair. We're going to come down onto our back. We're going to let the arms just float open and relax down. And we want everything really relaxed. We don't want to be activating our leg muscles. We want our legs just resting there. We want the chair to hold our legs for us. We don't have to be holding them up. And what we're doing here, it doesn't feel like much, but what we're doing is a psoas release by putting our legs in this position. So the psoas muscle, it's big. It's a big guy. It's big around, and it's really deep in the body. It attaches to the lower back, and it kind of wraps around and goes deep under the abdominals and down into the inner thigh and connects there in the inner thigh area around that pelvic region. So it's really deep, and it gets really short. It gets really constricted. And when it does that, it pulls into our back muscles, which can be pretty painful. So we want to do this psoas release. It's a hard thing to get to because it's so deep in the body. So we want to just let it go by letting the chair hold our legs. We're going to sit here like this for 2 minutes. So just start to let your body really soften and relax. Make sure you're relaxing the muscles of your face. And you can start to tune into your breathing if you haven't already. Just breathing a little bit deeper than maybe you normally do as you're going about your life. Not so deep that it's putting strain or stress on the body. It's just starting to really cultivate a fuller, deeper breath. And that deeper breath always, no matter what we're doing in our practice, that deep breath helps to remove toxins from the body and release energy from the body. It's very supportive of whatever we're doing in our yoga. So start to cultivate a deeper breath here. Just a few more rounds of breath. And if you're doing this at home, if you're on your own and you just want to do just this by itself, certainly feel free to stay here longer. You can be here 5 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever feels good. Just be mindful of your circulation, especially if you have any circulation issues, if your feet start to get tingly or your legs get tingly or cold. That's just an indication that the legs have been up too long and you want to bring them back down. But for the interest of time, we'll move now. Certainly at home, feel free to stay here longer. We're going to bring our feet down, remove any furry friends that have joined you, and you can just set that chair out of your way and grab a hold of your strap. Make sure you have that, your strap or your belt, and we want to bring our feet to the floor about hip width apart and just let the knees start to windshield wiper side to side. So we're just rocking across the sacrum and back area, giving ourselves a little low back massage. And start to bring those legs back to center. Want the feet back in so they're about hip width apart. And we're going to take the strap, the belt, whatever you have there, wrap it around the ball of the right foot and send that right foot up into the sky. So you might have a tendency to be reaching your arms really long like this to grab the strap and reaching your shoulders out of the sockets. So we want to bring the shoulders back down to the mat, which means bringing the hands maybe down the strap. We don't want to be reaching from the shoulders or taking this all up just into that right leg. So we want to be flexing now into that right foot, reaching through the heel. This is starting to stretch out the hamstrings, which comes up into that lower back region. We're just going to take some really deep breaths here. And then holding the strap, both parts of it in the right hand, you can just let that left arm relax. Start to move your right leg out to the right side, any amount. Maybe it's just a little, maybe it's a lot, whatever feels okay in your back, what feels okay in your hips. Find a place that feels like a nice stretch and then take in 3 brief breaths there. And moving that leg back to the sky, we're going to add the left foot. So both feet are going to be in the strap at the same time. Wrapping the strap around the balls, flexing now through both feet, reaching through the heels. Make sure we're not reaching those shoulders way up. Shoulders are nice and soft. And just for a breath, breathe into both legs. And then let that right foot come down to the floor. So now we're just engaging and activating that left leg. It's flex. So you're going to feel your stretch back through that hamstring. If your hamstrings are really, really tight, you might have a little bend in your knee. That's perfectly fine, whatever is supportive and feels good. And start to take your breath deep. Imagine the breath going right up and down that leg. And now moving both parts of the strap into the left hand, you're going to start to open that leg out to the side. Any amount is okay. 2 inches, 6 inches, a foot. Find the Goldilocks zone, okay? Not too much, not too little. The place where you feel sensation that feels nice, where you don't have to tense or strain to hold it, where you can continue a deep breath. And then moving that leg back up to the sky. I'm looking around because I hear Holly. I don't see her, but I hear her snoring. You guys hear her snoring? She's a pretty loud snorer. So again, we're going to bring those feet down to the floor. Arms drop open, windshield wiper. Your feet are about as wide as your mat now. Windshield wiper across that back. And then coming back to center, hug both knees into the chest. Just tuck them in. Let your length go through the sacrum. And then we're going to begin to bring ourselves up, and we're going to go sit in that chair. So however you need to come up, come on up. Take your time. Move that strap somewhere where it's out of your way. And we're going to come to sit in this chair. So we want our feet flat on the floor, which means we're probably sitting up on the edge of the chair. Let's roll those shoulders out a few times. Big, deep shoulder rolls, and then switch your circles, move it the other way. And let the shoulders come to rest. Take the arms up overhead. Grab a hold of that left wrist with your right hand. Take a deep bend over to that right side. And then up and over, lassoing your right wrist with your left hand, leaning over into the left side. Back to center, let the hands come down to rest. We're going to take that right ankle, put it right up here on the left knee. So you really want to make sure that your left foot is flat on the ground. And then we're going to keep her back flat and straight and start to fold forward towards that leg. So you're going to start to feel something at some point, and you can go as deep as you want to go, but you're going to feel something up the outer part of that hip and leg, or right leg on that right side. So if you have a lot of flexibility there, you might have to fold pretty deep to feel sensation. If it's a tight part of your body, you might not fold very far before you feel sensation. So find again that Goldilocks zone, that just right place, and breathe right there. And then start to lift yourself up, switching sides. So grounding down through that right foot, left ankle comes to the right knee. We don't want to hold our knee up. If you have some tight hips, your knee might just go up. It might not go down, but you don't want to hold it up, okay? So try to relax there, let it go as much as you can. And then start to take a little forward fold, any amount, until you're feeling some sensation in the outer part of that left leg, that left hip. When you find that exact right spot, find your breath again, deep breaths here. I found Holly. She's taking a nap on the heating vent. It's snowing today. The house is a little chilly, and she's on the heating vent just off camera. So you probably hear a little snoring going on. She's all cozied up over there. And then up and out. Let that leg come down. Bounce it out a little bit. Just a little bounce of the legs and the feet. And then we're going to come to stand. Reach the arms up overhead. Lean over into that right side. Big side body stretch. And then up and over into the left side. Back to center and release the hands. So we want to grab this chair. We're going to do kind of a modified downward facing dog. Grab that chair, have the back of the chair facing you, but you want to keep it on the mat, the sticky mat or whatever you're using. If it's on the floor, it might slide away from you. So you want to step back far enough, hold on to the back of the chair that you can take a 90-degree bend here from your hips. So you're bringing your head here right between your arms, if that's possible. If not, just go down as far as you can. So we're doing two things here that's really supportive of our back health. We're lengthening the spine. We're stretching out all of the vertebrae. And then simultaneously, we're stretching into our hamstrings. So those hamstrings being tight is really not conducive to feeling good in the back. We want to keep our hamstrings stretched out. So breathing into that hamstring stretch, breathing into this lengthening of the spine. A little added bonus, we're getting a little shoulder stretch too. Anybody who wants to go into a deeper forward fold, you're welcome to bring the hands to the floor, drop the head down. It's going to be a deeper hamstring stretch. But if you have degenerative disc disease, it might not feel good when you come up. So you might want to avoid the forward fold if you have degenerative disc disease, because you don't want that pinching sensation when you come back up out of the fold. The fold will feel great. The coming back up might not so much. Good, so take one more breath here in our modified downward facing dog. And then just start to walk yourself up and out. One more time, roll those shoulders around. And that is it for our part 1 of our back health video. So pretty simple, pretty short and sweet. I hope it makes you feel good. Thank you so much for tuning in. Namaste.